Because actually, there's not a huge amount in Heretics' comp compared to their double initiators they've been playing on other maps that actually the Veto can directly counter. The Neon doesn't make a difference. The Yoru TP's not really going to make too much of a difference. It's only really these Yoru flashes and those Sova recons as well that Veto Interceptor is going to counter.
This is probably one of the best, like the first Vetoes I've seen on Heaven, if not the first, Billy. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
I think something that we need to consider with Giant X starting on this defense specifically with this composition is how much they're going to be able to rotate around the map when we consider that Veto, when we consider that Neon.
I think that's going to be the biggest thing, absolutely. You look at the way that Heretics plays the attack side with the double duelist, they're going to be sending it. They're going to be really strong in these set site hits. Giants know that. They know they can't necessarily hold all of these sites against them, so they should at least be using the Veto to make those rotates, like you said, Billy, and flood into the sites as much as they possibly can do, rather than trying to hard hold them.
And we can also see probably the strengths of the Veto on this map. And who better to cast their first Veto on Heaven in VCT EMEA than Tom and Mitch.
Thank you very much, Lou. I am excited to see this one. For GX, you know, Westside, big topic of the conversation, and we heard it there from Pipson during the coach confession in between the maps as well about the logic of putting him onto Chamber. Now, yeah, I'm moving him away from Cypher as well. But this is quite a departure from the role that, well, not from the role, I suppose, but in terms of how it's going to play, it's going to enable Westside to be a little bit more of an individual. You push his site, your utility doesn't land, well, he already gets a bunch when it does. So I'm excited, but also a little tentative. I'm not sold on him just yet, on Veto, not on Westside. I'm very sold on
I've not
Westside.
necessarily been sold on it, but I think the best time to use it would be up against a team you know exactly what they're going to do.
Yes,
so
disruptively, sure.
I think that's, like, realistically, if they came in with a normal comp versus Heretics on this map, are they going to win? No. Like, it's the Heretics' best map, and it has been all of last year. So I like the fact that they're going to try and ruin their opponent's comp rather than try and beat them with something that already works. So I'm quite excited to see what they have planned. They get to start on the defense as well, which I think is where Vito's definitely going to have the best opportunities to do that. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what has been cooked up by Pipson.
And think about last map. Heretics came in with the same thing, their opponent's map pick, and they had a good idea on how they wanted to play it, how that utility would be put in on retakes, and played off of those positions, bar that little oopsie from Woot.
I also think the chokehold versus a sliding Neon is going to be another very irritating piece of utility to try and face off against Ara. There's no way out, but he has managed to at least find himself one. An early fight, but a lot of what they're leaving is just having Westside as that anchor for A. I think they are reading into the fact that their opponents are going to go back in this direction, and unfortunately for them, they are wrong.
No, Heretics have decided to take it to C, so as you say, GX making the wrong play,
30
leaves
seconds
Flickless
left.
They've realized.
Up against the numbers. He spotted 3 now, but goes down. No delay anymore. The orb falls, and so too does the C site. GX remaining players too far away to really do anything about this, you would imagine. Paranoia is put through, so is a Reveal. Hold on, they're going to float in on the back of it, trying to get some picks inside the smokes, but no, Reveal's coming through, and Benji hiding in the corner. Manages to catch Grabinho off, putting this down to a 2-dimensional push, both from spawn, both spotted, and soon, both to be swung. That one done and dusted. Heretics 1-0.
Yeah, I think just a decent pistol from them in terms of just having a read on roughly where their opponent's setup was going to be, finding the weaker of the sites and executing on it in the fashion that we've always seen them do. But the question will be for me, what happens when they do run into that Veto? Because obviously they've got the firepower to deal with most opposition anyway. Benji looks very pumped up for this, the pistol round, but hey. Clearly wanting a little bit of revenge after the last map. As I said, the expectation in this series was always that both teams would win their own pick. GX have done the work. It's just whether or not they are able to break apart a team that, well, has already played this map a couple of times and looked very good on it.
Well, pistol round's a good start for the attack, and I think the main danger here being staying away from the stack up, which has now shifted to this A side as the attackers shift to C. Another gamble from GX. And another mistake, it would seem. I mean, they are sticking around A. It looked for a second like they'd rotate back. The drone going out on C hasn't fully sold them just yet. You can see that it gets broken, and Benji goes down, sure, but unless Westside gets a lot done in this corner, it should mean nothing can flash out, but they just swing it, and the numbers are enough to crumble that C site. And as well as that, GX, obviously the player they killed on A, only had a pistol, so they get nothing really.
Yeah, that's sort of the power of just having a singular pistol. It's whether or not there's going to be anything more from this. Well, the Jungle Peak made that a bit easier for Boo. Grabinho seems like he's waiting for Ara. Oh, never mind. No, he's not. He's just going to take the 1v1 and he's going to win it. Rest of players locked into the site, but more importantly, that is a Bulldog down and into the hands of Grabinho. Now, he doesn't necessarily want this for the next round, so he's going to try and run in and make this one even more costly.
I'll tell you what, someone on Heretics will want it. Potential upgrades being brought back to them, but brilliance is gone down, and it's a 1v1 time already, very low, but Ara catches Wood immediately. An unbelievable round down to a hair's width, but enough with 2.5 seconds in at any other position under the sun for Woot, and this round was done, but he was boxed in that corner. What a fumble.
It wasn't even that close to the end. He probably had about 2.5 seconds left. Like, that is a fumble and a half. Like, an initial win, but also the fact that Flickless kills the player behind. And then they're so distracted by everything going on that Ara manages to slide back through. That is just, I don't know. For me, that's unacceptable. I just don't know how Heretics have let that one slip away from a post plant with all your weapons still intact while your opponents have nothing.
I can't believe it. Genuinely, any other spot from Woot, any shot hitting for Heretics there, and I think it goes back to what Weber said during Coach Confession as well.
Boo not taking a 1v1 on his own on long.
Yeah.
And losing to a Ghost.
And that, yeah. And it's just silly mistakes, and all the counterplay in the world, all the preparation, all the comp diff you like cannot make up for those silly mistakes, at least not from what we've seen so far. GX with a chance to steal the lead away from Heretics, and it will be Ara through the smoke to pick up Woot again. Following on from the last 1v1, he's ripped him out of this round too.
Yeah. A bit of an investment just with some extra credits. A surprise. That hasn't been a surprise at all. I don't even think they will have realized there was a Guardian in play. And for Ara, well, he can look for the ace. It's not going to benefit him in terms of anything other than skill. And well, it's Westside. There you go. An in-zone flawless for GX, making sure that their fight versus a low buy is no trouble at all.
That certainly seemed like this Westside story is going to have a very happy ending. He's been looking very good, but Ara here, 4 kills picked up. I mean, it's easy when just one shot to the body's all you need, but the confidence builder that is, he's on a 7-1 start. And for Ara especially, that's so important. This is a guy that, you know, I'm gonna say it again. I think we've actually seen way more of the floor of him. Initial pickup, he didn't look good. It took him a long time to get comfortable, but towards the end of last year, we saw him start to heat up. That's already a tag, 140 onto Woot.
Was there supposed to be someone else peeking there?
It did look like it, yeah.
It looked like Woot was baiting the shot, but there was no one to swing alongside him. Like, he ended up just having to fight that one alone, and he lost. Lucky to be alive. Wow, this early look from Heretics on their own map choices has not got me feeling too happy. That's not bad, though. Westside down. All that talk about what the utility can do, but he's dead within the first few seconds. That leaves a lot of space, a lot of positions that are now opened up. And for Heretics, they've decided to just slow for a bit.
My ult's not ready.
Oh, that was the peak from Woot in mid-window. They tried to trade him out, but he didn't even take a lick of damage. A clean one, a freebie, and it gets them now aiming towards this A site, knowing they can use their util when they break through. That drone broken from far back. They don't know about Cloud just yet. You might grow suspicious with how quick they were to react to that utility, but still need to be so cautious in breaking through, and they are. Boo picks him off for free. No trade coming in, and now Grabinho under heavy pressure will pop a smoke up, trying to play inside, and emerges to catch Benji, and on the backside, Flickless on a tear, leaves this down to Ara. A solid performance from this man so far, and a chance to really hammer home the lead. He's hot on his heels. Oh, popped. Good stun as well. It's an easy win for Ara.
I thought for a moment there Boo was going to have him. Like the TP across, I think it caught him for a split second, but the main hero of that round was Flickless. Like I was looking at that site here, 2 openers already, and just able to, again, just isolate these duels so clean with it. Again, you talk about his initial look into the league, we talked about him as a utility player. Like, this was a guy who would throw the setup and everybody else would get the kills. And again, as the season went on, he got better and better individually while still doing that as a bonus. But we saw it in the last map. Probably the round that you'd say broke the camel's back was him winning that clutch. And he's done it again. 3 kills in a high impact round. Economy in the bin once more for Heretics. They'll have to wait for the next and see if they can at least do a little bit of damage in this one.
That's a phenomenal reveal that goes through there. Clears absolutely everything. And you can see it's already forced GX back towards that C site, giving up Garage completely. And as a response, you know, losing all that map control, having the Fog of War go back up means you got to clear something else. Drone sent through to see if A is open, but it's not. There's players waiting there. And so GX, with 1:05 on the clock on this defense, they have no information. At least Westside is pushed up, but especially against the Pistols, Tom, that does represent a decent risk. He can obviously TP back, but if they round that corner too quickly, you won't have a chance to get out. He's pushing as well.
Oh, okay. Boo's clearly got some sort of spidey senses because just decided to look back at the perfect moment.
He's got ult.
If he wanted to try and take some space, Heaven would be a nice spot to try and move into. Or maybe he's just going to try TP to the back of B. Gravino's got one for free, though. An angle given. Dodges the flash, and they are leaving this close. 20 seconds, they're now looking to try and run back towards the C site, but these steps have been heard. The call has been made. Flash deep into the site. Counter utility already spammed out. Flickless able to hold until he can see once again, and he has seen the light of day. All 4 wiped out again for Flickless. This man is carrying at this point.
This guy's crazy. When he came onto the scene, like you said, we talked about his util because you could feel the impact that it had in so many of the rounds. He felt like a standout amongst the support players in the region.
Nice flick.
Nice flick. Which one? Every flick there landed. That was unbelievable. 9-3. And that's the thing about GX. It feels like, you know, a lot of these names were new to us or in new roles and we had questions, but it feels like they have such a depth of talent on that roster.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting because you kind of look at this as a squad. You talk about this team, and I think one of the things was mentioned in one of the opening video by Commend is that it doesn't necessarily look like they have a standout star player. A man who might argue with that a little bit would be Westside, and but it's interesting, we've spoken so much about the agent that he's currently playing in Vito, and the fact that he's now added another to the tally. It has been a lot more variance in terms of what he's been playing so far this year, something that I think that is clearly a case for Pipson of saying, like, I think these agents are still good, but we can try and make these work a little better. Haven't seen the impact so much of it just yet. Obviously, I feel like that's always the case. You focus in hard on a new agent, you go, okay, what is it doing right now? And a lot of the time it's like, well, Flickless is killing everyone, so he's just kind of there. He's like, he did a cool rotation once, like where he would TP'd.
But if they didn't have Vito, who knows? Maybe Flickless wouldn't be hitting the shots, you know?
He wouldn't feel confident enough.
Yeah, knowing their abilities could be taken off them on the other side of the map anytime now. Well, there you go. In the dirt, and that's exactly where Heretics are at the moment. A 4-1 scoreline, trailing on the attack, and investing here. Looking to make the difference. They kept that ult on Boo. It didn't clear backside C. It didn't give them the info last round, but now it can have that impact. A slow approach, and evidently they're looking for a fight early, and I think a lot of this will come down to what they're hearing there. There's abilities online on A, ready to steal theirs away. You might want to bait that out first. I think that's going to be a facet of this attack side coming out of this pause, is taking some of those tools out of the hands of GX before they're ready to use them.
Oh, okay, a reactive Viper's Pit. But with the deep control of Ara, it does leave a bit of a gap. He's now rotated back towards the site. It's worth mentioning as well that there's that aggressive push coming in on the other side, and well, I don't know if it's the West Side utility that did anything there, but he sure can hit headshots.
It's unreal. Again,
30
part of
seconds
the
left.
chamber that
Are
we
they
talked
going through
about.
this now?
The Headhunter, yeah, they're gonna walk in, contact in a Viper's pit through B! Throw the smallest choke point in the game against Flickless! Have you lost your minds? 5-1, an in-zone flawless, and a massive fumble from Heretics. That, I mean, to say they ran out of ideas in the end there is an understatement.
I guess the only thought process you have is,
Let's end it quick.
There's probably no one else here. I've seen 3 people on the other side.
Oh, it's
so
only Flickless.
It's only Flickless.
I mean, he's 9-3. It should be easy with 12-3
It's
now.
only Flickless, but yeah, not gone to plan. And for GX, this is a great sign. Looking back to the previous results for Heretics on this map, they had 2 9-3 attack side halves versus Ulf and Na'Vi, only scraped the victory versus Na'Vi 13-11. So the fact that they're already shutting down what has been the more dominant side to this map shows that the work that GX is doing is good, but also I do feel like there have been a lot of fumbles from Heretics so far.
Yeah, the fact that it's carried through to this map as well, to their comfort, to where they chose to play, that's the surprising part. You can see you being off guard elsewhere. Comeback, here we go. You talk about it. Heretics fumbling, and it stops just as it's brought into your mind. Ara is going to make it back, but he won't be able to line up in time. Comeback, 2 already in this round before falling. May just have set Heretics up for the win, at least for the plant. And, well, Cloud overstayed is welcome. On a few lead gifts sent his way.
Evolution popped. No utility will affect, which, hey, if they try and use a Hunter's Fury on him, he'll be okay. There are, however, 3 other players alive, so I'm not sure that this is really going to matter too much in the end. We'll have to see if there's some magic that can be had from Westside to make this interesting. Time a ticking. This is where he will just get onto that defusal, try and dodge any utility. It should be the spams that get the job done, though. And yeah, that's kind of what I expected to happen. I'll be honest with you. Heretics, second round onto the board. A little bit of individual magic to get them back on the right track. But they've got a long way to go before I feel like I'm convinced.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this also as a little bit of a mistake, a bit of an oopsie maybe coming out of GX. The fact is, they lost garage control again, and I understand the idea of we can't just keep giving it up, but up against the low buy, decide to just contact, double push back in. You know also there's a player, I'm pretty sure they knew, that could be underneath the window, could have already crossed, could be wrapping around, and that's what the reaction is too, right? They could be coming from spawn, we gotta fight somewhere. But the wrong battleground was chosen, perhaps the same here. Landed, shot by Comeback, puts Westside in the dirt, but Ara has snuck up behind. Gravino in the corners, well and truly noted, but the third player, they might expect the first, even the second. Wow.
But that's the thing, there's also a 4th. There's another player deeper down on A-Long as well. So there's no one else anywhere on the map. So if the due diligence of Heretics is done, this round is done as well. We'll just have to wait and see. And yeah, this might be a problem. Yeah, he knows there's a problem, but there's even a trip there. Just trying to escape. Should be impossible. Kyle's actually managed to land one on the operator. But now they definitely know that they're both on A. So this is a free plant on the C site. Yeah. They're not even checking anything because why would they?
Boo's been holding the rotate as well the whole time. So fast as Neon could be, there's no way Ara could have made it there in time. A plant goes down. And
safe.
Honestly, yeah, after losing the previous round, there's not much of a choice here for GX. You could go for it, but you're not going to really damage the Heretics economy. They've built up quite a bit. The last round victory, as clean as it was, is giving them more than enough credits to fall back on. So a save called by GX. A 5-3 scoreline, though, and for Heretics, a team that was looking shy of any answers. I mean, it came down to 3-man contacting into a Viper's pit against Flickless, who's having the game of his life. But now they've really found the reins again, back on the saddle, and well, maybe this is where they hit that extra gear.
Yeah, but the last couple of rounds, it does feel like it's just come off of some comeback individual brilliance. Like him and Woot getting an opener in the last round, and then him just taking 2 players with an operator in this one. Like, if he can step up, we've always said it, we know what sort of level this squad can bring. It's just whether or not they can keep this sort of play going, where you're getting 2, not easy kills, but 2 kills that I expect him to get.
Another big investment coming up, and another big fight. Check towards A, a lot of red outside those barriers, and the op on Ara is looking to go down on short. Smoke, though.
Dart needs to be good.
Smoke's blocked him off immediately, but he's waiting for someone to come walking through it. He knows it's a possibility. Abu, close as he may get, I don't think he's foolish enough to go walking through that. Without at least like a drone or something sent down. There it is.
Yeah, this is where well, like Ara should be forced back, but they've still got that. The thing is, last time they did this, we saw the check. Drone going through on the other side. That should be quite a bit of information on the other side. But they're already being flanked on Hunter's Fury going through. You'll know there's 2 players on the back of the site, and that could be enough to find one. No, not quite, but Wu has taken space, but he doesn't actually realize that Ara is still on that short spot. They've lost a man, but bear in mind how many they've seen. That was, I think, 3 spotted by the dimensional drift, and then the 4th that got the kill. So they know there is a big gap on the other side of the map. Utilities already destroyed. They've been doing that a couple of times, same as you would with, say, an alarm bot or a trip. That's going to be the C site open for business.
Surprised to see that even after that context dissipated, even after the trap broken in the garage, it's only now that GX start to move. The 4-player A stack stuck in position until the plant was attempted, and now the steps heard because Boo was so late on the rotate. But he only gets 1. It's not enough. Someone's going to need to put in that extra shift in a 3 versus 4 TP taken to the spawn. It's going to be just 1 in the form of Flickless left to take that battle onto Benji Fishy while the rest of the squad battles for the site. Long could define it, and now the wall's closing in on Team Heretics. Players coming from all sides as comeback trades out on Tara, but these players isolated, and Rienz looks to drop Flickless, knowing that he's coming from Long. The shot's sensational, but Ara, the swap out to the Vandal. It gets the round for GX. He's there just in time for the trade. 6-3 now. GX not letting Heretics all the way back in.
Oh, when comeback starts hitting shots like that, that's the moment you start to believe he's just going to wipe out everybody. But this time they were quick enough on the trade. I think that was the moment. And an opportunity for Boo. Benji also being caught on the flank, and everybody trying to make the play. And unfortunately, it was his comeback of Rienz that did the best effort. GX extend that lead a little bit further. Even still, though, both teams able to come back in with a bye. No ultimates online, but Cloud pretty close. By the looks of it, it's an early walk up C long. But with how much presence has already gone towards the garage, they are going to have to put some eyes there.
Coming through.
Boo in the open faces Ara, a man who started out Kickoff with really just a poor performance, and since then he's been heating up better and better as the games go on. This one, night and day compared to this year's debut, and a 4 versus 3. But that operator on Ara still online. No ults to fall back on for Heretics. An early fight by Cloud, though, ahead of the pack, ahead of Ara. And Ara going down now. It's back in Heretics' control. And it seems like they've got a chokehold on the game with Westside's headshots being demanded, being required. And at least the first will find its way into his possession. But Rienz, he ran for the hills. They were going to play the time there even if Woot didn't land the kill.
Yeah, thankfully he did. So we're not going to find out if that would have been a problem, but yeah, a bit of a resurgence. Even still, GX coming in with a half win. I think they're going to be pretty happy with that. But maybe a little bit disappointed with how this round went. Just giving solo fights towards the end over to Heretics, and although they've been winning a lot of those throughout the game so far, that was the one that you feel like when you already have that advantage, the benefit of just trading out would have been enough. Now, there is going to be some pieces missing. I'm interested that Ara's the one with the rifle, considering he has the overdrive online, but I guess it's such a limited time to use that ultimate. Maybe they'll save it for a retake. Back in the close corner again. This is something that he tried on the pistol, and it was checked.
He got one at least, but especially in this round where he's the one with the rifle. No one else has got anywhere near that kind of hardware. He's got to find something. They've seen him. Oh, Ara's won it! Comeback, knew he was there, had him locked in with an op, and somehow, I don't even think he knew that he was spotted. Like, Ara he just wide swings it, fair enough.
big early pick for the defensive side.
That's massive.
Locks them out of one position. Boo's still lurking on the other side of the map, and the rest of them trying to put pressure in towards A. Maybe Cell, bit of an idea that that's the direction they're heading. It's going to put the pressure onto Flickless once again, but Harris gone walkabouts. He's gone pressing through mid, and the distraction is perfect. They just put out another player just to try and give him the opportunity, and when given, he takes over. 3 kills, the only rifle they had, and now only one man stands in his way. Boo's got no chance. 20 seconds, spike down. It was meant to be the beginning of maybe the comeback to a 6-6 scoreline. Instead, that half is guaranteed going the way of GX.
10 seconds left.
Oh, Ara's wrapping around. They're going to give it to him. Give him his 4th. Not quite the ace. Grubby stole it, but Westside's there to do the same at the end. A thrifty's a thrifty, though. A round win for GX. It never should have been, especially with how this started. Ara was trapped in that corner. They knew he was there, and he ends up with 3 kills, and effectively all. He's involved in every fight that they have.
I wonder if that Hunter's Fury was because they thought someone was close, and the Hunter's Fury was just meant as a distraction. Because that's what it seemed like. The Hunter's Fury was almost on Ara.
Yeah. It was a peculiar one. I'll give you that. The thing is, though, I don't think Ara knew that he was spotted from the peak that he went for.
Early fight. Needs to escape and will do, even after being revealed. This is a much faster looking move from Heretics. They've been playing lurks, they've been moving back. Instead, they're going in towards that veto setup.
It's a great tag. They know where the danger is. Wall's going to go straight up to stop that op from having any impact. McLeod is still holding on to control for a moment as he slips away, though. Grabinho, they well and truly know about him. Not letting him away with anything as Flickless. Well, he's been good for a couple of clutches that I definitely counted him out of, Tom, but a 1 versus 4 back into the A site. This should be impossible.
Could even, if they wanted to, just use the From the Shadows as a recon. There's so many variables, and you can already see that they're playing contact off the back of Woot. There are 2 players, make that 3 players ready to swing.
Toxins going up.
Now, the second he makes it out of this smoke, if he gets past Woot, which is tough enough as it is, and even then the time will start to be an issue. We can just write this down as a 7-5, and that's exactly what it will be. Even still, one of the best defensive halves, or no, the best defensive half we've seen versus Heretics on this map this year. The question will be, is in half number 2, can they now convert it into a victory?
One enemy remaining.
Hey!
Hey, Tom.
Alberto was looking for you, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, you better get that
Okay,
quick.
I'll go check.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Tom Biz. You've had your fun. It's my turn.
Welcome back, folks. It's time to dive into half number 2 of map number 2. Tom, you've already said it. GX with a strong defensive showing, and it could have been even better. Remember, they started out by losing the pistol, but managed to fight their way back, and now finishing with a 2-round lead out of half number 1.
Yeah, this has been... I guess, an interesting map for me. I'm looking at this one as like, okay, I expect Heretics to come in and win. I expect them to be dominant on their attack side, and I'll be honest with you, what I've seen so far hasn't been the case. They're always very good at flipping the map on its head whenever they needed it to be, but I don't know. I'm getting a little bit nervous for them, especially because losing here puts them on their last life, puts them in that lower bracket. And we always talked about, hey, you get 3 chances this time, but nobody wants to be left on their last life with the amount of teams that have already taken a hit.
Yeah, but how many games they'll need to win in a row? No margin for error. And we've seen the level go up across the board. Woot! That wall's going to come down. He's going to have a fight on his hands, and 2 players on the other side, west side, and a pistol as well. Not the ones you want to face. Drone sends Spoo back outside of A. Yeah, he's going to stay in the spawn, and they'll play this as a retake. Surely a plant pretty much guaranteed at this point. They're trying to make the best of this bad situation, a reveal and a spam through the smoke, but nothing found.
It's already looking like a tough retake from this point onwards. Post-plant. Still got paranoia and a stun. They're going to have to be huge pieces of utility to try and make this awkward. The stun forces one out, but the orb is just making things so tough. They wanted to try and move off that, but losing some of your HP, getting decayed as you try and make your way in is so much more of a problem. And now the paranoia comes through. Past one they go, but the trades are just perfect. A singular kill comes up for the side of Heretics as GX are starting to get out of sight.
I'll be honest with you, Tom, again, just look at how that round plays out. Heretics, it feels like making mistakes, making gambles at least, and not saving all their eggs to put in one basket, which in this situation is probably worth it. Starting with Rianz, he puts through the reveal to try to punish them as they enter the site. All they have to do is dodge it, which they do successfully. The only player caught takes a little bit of damage and gets out. Now you don't have your reveal to fight back through that orb, to fight back through the smoke. Then you have the stun coming out of comeback. It catches players under. It sends them out in the open. And 10 seconds later, the paranoia that would have blinded those players, but they've reset. They can go under because it's not stunned anymore. All those things put together, you've got the pieces to a very beautiful puzzle. Separately, though, very easily to dismantle, and that's exactly what GX did. Just dodged it one at a time. I think this is a strong start for the attack that Heretics, if they lose another 1 or 2, we could see that timeout. I think frustration's got to be creeping in with just the synergy issues we're seeing.
I like this as well from GX. You've got the sniper on arrow, which can definitely be taken into the next round. And then they've got the 2 pistol buy. So they could even come in with full rifles for the next round. Maybe even gather up a few orbs here and there, although he does have to be a little bit careful. Whoa. I like the idea, the ruse, and that's already 1 kill. That was one of the players that did have a rifle in hand. Of course, if the pistols clean it up, it really isn't going to matter too much. The guns should be retrieved once they find it, and it will only be a pistol lost in the end, which is absolutely fine.
Yeah, think about this game, how it started, man. GX lose the pistol. The fact that they've ended up here 9-5 in the lead, well, it's thanks to the fact they won the second round in that first half. Went 5-1 up. It's such a heavy deficit to fight back into. And when you think about Heretics, this is the squad. This is the squad that you expect to see making that climb back. Albeit against GX, this is a tougher opponent than what we've seen previous, but especially with the results last year, especially with them looking a little shaky and then very much waking up the Fnatic kickoff experience. This push from Woot. It's audacious, and he doesn't land his shots. Luckily, Benji was there with him. It looks like that's the end of mid-aggression for now.
It almost has to be, because they've left so much space, but Comeback is watching. Not going to allow for any shenanigans from Grabinho this time. And now the main hit, which is making its way towards A, or at least what seems like. Okay, you've seen 1 player. You know the Vipers there. West side managed to just stay in the corner. The spike was still on the other side of the map, so GX definitely aren't committed to any form of push. I am, however, looking at Comeback. That temptation to go walkabouts. He's the only player anywhere other than the A site. But that sound cue has got him locked in.
Toxins going up.
Trap and Cam to deal with. Drone's going to clear B, but it's all about the strike timing of Comeback. Does he come wrapping around behind them? A freebie if he decided to, but no, it's West side who's going to be threading the needle. Plant come. Oh, no! Switching to an ability at just the wrong moment, and oh, that's a tragedy in action.
Oh, no. There's your veto highlight. That's what we were looking for the entire time.
I believe now, Tom. I'm sold.
Oh, it's still Flickless and Cloud. Late rounds, Flickless has been incredible, but this might have to be the best of the lot. And already caught, but no! I thought he was dead to rights. A couple of players waiting around the corner, 6 bullets remaining, and well, I don't think he lands a single one. Thankfully for Heretics, they have got away with that one, but when he hit that first shot, I was worried for them.
Yeah, it might look silly as well when you're coming up against a Neon to go that close, right? It's where they can thrive, sliding around the angle. But when you've got both the wall, potentially the stuns, we can see that's not the case, but for him, he doesn't know. Playing down on that headshot angle, you're going to get stunned up. You're going to get smoked off probably by the Omen. And now you're in a world of trouble trying to spray when you've already used the snake bite. So Flickless didn't have much of a choice. But with 6 ammo, he ran out of chances before that final shot was landed.
Three. Bro.
I've never seen a man look so frustrated with a 9-6 lead on a map that's famously solid.
He might have been watching Westside in that moment. I think that's probably what he was watching.
I'll give you that. I think I'd be the same, Pipson. I'm there with you.
Well, I like the early little bit of utility thrown out. If there was any sort of dart, it would have been immediately removed. Just trying to almost shroud the vision of this Heretic side and deny a lot of the aggression that they would have been wanting. They've still got the sniper in play. A few players with light shields that would be one shot if they were to meet Ara. But again, it's very patient from the side of GX. They're expecting aggression, as they saw in the last round. But instead, they're going to meet the drone of Rians, which I feel like has been a general irritation throughout this series so far.
Definitely on that first map, causing its problems. You can ask Westside about that later. Pursuit of double digits, the plant found already, and Heretics have to pick up the pieces. Evidently, feeling comfortable in the retake. No ultis to play with, but still so much utility because of that direct approach. The flash will already get them onto the site. The one-way smoke up top countered out by a smoke of their own. The defuse to be tapped and draw out some of that utility. For now, though, there's nothing coming their way. Booze caught a shot onto Ara as they blitz down through mid. What a swing from Comeback. They're fighting back on the other side, though. Cloud, the man top fragging the last map, comes in for more and takes a bite out of Woot. A 3K on the board, and GX have found double digits. They are only a matter of steps away from 2-0ing this series against Heretics.
Yeah, keeping themselves in that middle bracket, keeping themselves with a couple of lives to play with, and more importantly, sending a team that they have never been able to beat down into that lower bracket. We've talked about the story of Mates, the story of BBL, and how there might just be a new guard here in EMEA, but GX are looking to try and keep themselves in the top flight, keep themselves as one of the teams in contention for Santiago. And wow, you can see that for Heretics, this is a moment where they need to try and take a pause. It has been a couple of people here and there, like Comeback. I thought that was a good opportunity for him. And actually, to be fair, Boo's been having a pretty good game. I'd say on the last map, Cloud definitely took the biscuit, and in the last round as well. But this is where you really do need your leadership. For GX, it's about making sure you don't crumble, similarly to how Heretics did in the last map, like having an opportunity to take your opponent's choice. And for Boo, it's about keeping people in the game, because we have seen some of those stars, Benji right now, having a much rougher time than what we've seen, say, for example, in their last series, where he was phenomenal. They're going to need them now, because otherwise, well, the worries about Heretics might just be coming true.
Yeah, it's been a long time as well since we've seen Heretics in the lead, since they felt that. I mean, since the pistol round, very much so. GX have had that lead even in the last map.
They had the lead for a minute.
It was this squad that was leading for the majority of the series. GX with a really impressive return to form, and I cannot compliment Ara enough. Listen, there's going to be more than enough people there when he falls and falters. Got to give him the praise when he hits that level that, you know, we haven't seen that much from him, but we know it's there. Straight through the smoke, the drone helped, but Woot hasn't been accounted for just yet. A big danger and dealt with after one. Nicely handled.
Yeah, shot connected by Rians, but the only person that's really a danger is this Neon. Oh, that's already one, but he's completely blinded. Manages to avoid anything else. Oh, takes a second. But now Boo's still so far away. Doesn't have anything to play with, a couple of ults if they really wanted to use them, but
Spike planted.
I'd be surprised if they were thrown in at this moment, especially versus a weapon that they're unaware of. He could have a judge for all they know. Putting a Viper's Pit would be maybe a hindrance rather than a help. Instead, just playing in those crossfires, playing with an opportunity, and well, it's Cloud to beat him out again. Another triple for the IGL, and another round for GX.
And we just had the head-to-head comparison. You got to see it on the server there in that last fight. This is how the game is going. GX,
right,
with everything. I mean, the drone saw him. It was on radar. It's a little easier than it looks, but still frustrating on the other side. For GX, 2 away from closing this out. Ara on a tear, Flickless as phenomenal as ever. And Team Heretics, the one thing that we can criticize in previous games is like maybe Comeback hasn't looked like he's hitting the level we want. The synergy hasn't been there. Well, it is. He's having a hell of a game, and yet still the answers are not found.
Quick.
Deep play towards this A side, and a plan seems undeniable at this point.
Oh, that was kind of what Benji was hoping for. They had kill trips all over the site. One of them has been completely avoided, and now they got a Viper's Pit. Have all the kill trips you like. It doesn't matter. You've not found an advantage. The ultimate for Wu is the main thing. If he can get that online, great, but they're even going to throw in the Hunter's Fury. They want to make sure this round is confirmed already. An initial tag, Ara, another drop, Benji gone, but they do get rid of the pit. It might not matter, though. Too many players gone on the other side, and well, with both of them low on HP and a Neon ult on the other side, you're not going for this. It is 12. It's GX with a pacey change-up that puts them 1 away from victory.
Yeah, this is the round as well where you expect, at 11-6, that maybe your opponents are going to take that little bit of a slow approach. Let you make a mistake because Heretics, back against the wall, could come out swinging, could play aggro on a part of the map. GX, they waste no time. They come in as if they're the better squad, and so far this game, that seems to be the case. Individuals off the charts. The synergy's there, the game plan's good. We saw the retakes last map. Even though Heretics were ready, there were still troubles. And on Heretics map choice, it's looking more dominant than I could ever have imagined coming into today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think that we looked at this map and went, okay, we're going to 3. There was a
100%.
necessary victory on Abyss. But the fact is, GX have stepped up individually, but also been able to deny a lot of what made this successful for the side of Heretics.
Right here.
Early drone, an operator in play, a chance maybe for Comeback to get an opener, but really depends how far Grabinho's going to go. This is looking like a B hit all over it.
Oh, there's a nice opening pick, though. 6 in a row for Heretics. One hell of a task with how the game has gone so far, doubling up without an error, and then taking it in OT, and then taking map 3. It's a laundry list of accomplishments needed for the defensive side to keep drawing breath in this series and avoid the lower bracket run. A long run, a ruthless one as well, unforgiving for the mistakes you've made. For now, at least, a man advantage. Start of the, comeback, the resurgence, let's say. Has to be here and now. Ara, he's been such a problem, but this time he'll be dealt with right away.
Yeah, he was just a ruse, though. This was an idea to try and give some space over. They're hearing the steps, but they don't know that Flickless is here. They do check for it, though. They make sure that nothing is left unchecked this time, and while Westside has also been spotted,
Trap triggered.
both players trying to fight in this direction, but it gives a gap elsewhere. They know that eventually this attack is going to have to get aggressive, and while it would have had to be a 2-for-1, instead it's Woot with 3. Cloud for an all-time clutch. The first comes easy. It's the next 4 that should be impossible, given a slight opportunity, but they're already on that defusal. He needs to go diving in to try and find them. He's definitely making things a little interesting, a little costly, even taking down a 4th, but they've already defused the spike. It's impressive stuff. It's a showing of style, but he did still lose the round.
Yeah, sure, but hey, listen, at 12-6, now 12-7, I feel like I've won if I play like that. That was crass, your IGL, man. Look at him. He took every advantage, every opportunity. That was a 1v5. Even how he avoids comeback to start, like doesn't give them the trade opportunity, gets in with the knife out to the shorty. Woo! All right, that was fun. 5 more needed, and for Heretics, that took what was a dominant round into a like, oh my god, we almost lost that.
Well, even just look at the guns. Like, you've got a couple of Guardians in there. You got a lot of light shields, arrows. So it will help out. A lot of potential. Ultimates not really available for either side. The Evolution is the closest. Realistically, I'm looking at the position of Westside already. He's got himself in the corner just in case there is a C-site push. It was there before, out from comeback, but he no longer has that operator. And by the looks of it again, they're going to go straight back to this B-site plant.
Immediate retake attempted by Heretics. They're trying to catch the planter, but it doesn't work. Paranoia goes through. Grabinho sees one on the left. Smokes that through. Flickless already has a double. Dodging down from the shots as the snake bite lands. Comeback steps forward to his death, and Boo, the last to be sent to the grave, but he seems well and truly on his way. 2 shots left, and 1 from Cloud is all it takes. The IGL leading by example. What a series from GX. 13-10 on Abyss, and desolation of Heretics on their own map pick Haven.